Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Um, so I have a few accounts here. Obviously, I play on Vulsa, that's my main. I also have an alt, infantry account whose, main purpose is providing infantry support. I have a couple older accounts that I don't play anymore, but that I use for testing when I need to. And then I have several farms. And you might say, hey, Vulsa bro, I think you might have a problem, and you're probably right about that. But you also might say, hey, how do you keep track of all these? How do you make sure, you do everything you need to do every week? And the answer in part is I literally have a checklist, a Word document that I open up. And every Sunday morning, so like for me, reset is Sunday evening. So every Sunday morning, I get a nice big cup of coffee and I sit down and I go through each of my accounts with this Word document. And I go through the checklist. I hit every item and make sure I do the necessary things every week. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, going through my checklist. At the end of this video, I'll give you the entire checklist itself. You might find it useful, you might not. But hopefully this video is some use for you, the checklist is some use for you. It might help you manage your COD counts, just make sure you don't miss any big items. Okay, so the first thing I do is just command points. I make sure I spend all my command points. My rule happens to be I'll hit the highest level Darkling or one level below it. So right now we got 42, so that means I'll hit all 42s or 41s. Pretty simple. Okay, now that I'm done with the Darklings, the second thing is pets and pet skills. The pet interface here. Just make sure you don't have any warrants that you haven't spent. So that's pretty easy. The other thing is the pet skills here. Now it used to be the case that every week the pet skills rolled over, so if you didn't use them that week, they were lost forever. Thankfully, they changed it. They accumulate up to 8 weeks now. So on my main account, it's very rare that I would ever get to a point where I would have to, be in a use or lose situation. But in some of my alt accounts, in fact, frequently on my alt accounts, I will have, use or lose skills. I'll think about buying it. Like if I have a 2-star that I'm going to lose, I'd probably buy a very cheap 2-star just to either use as a throwaway later on or maybe upgrade like a hero enhancement type build. So that is something worth taking a look. So that's number 2, pets and pet skills. So number 3, we come to the weekly quests. So it's important to do these weekly quests, particularly early on, so you can get further along the Titan's Reward quest here. Now the thing I find about the weekly quest is you always get the increase your power, use speed up quests. I'm not going to do that for the weekly quest. I save my speed ups for big events like Great Heights or Brink of War or something like that, and so I'm not going to waste it for a weekly quest. And the power up, I make it or I don't make it. I just don't care. But all these other weekly quests I make sure I do every week, like Dark Forts, I make sure I do that, or, selling something in the auction house. And frequently I'll come to this and I'll find like, hey, I still need to do 2 Dark Forts, or I still need to do something in the auction house. And so I'll do that very quickly, complete the weekly quest, and help my progression along. So that's number 3 for me, do the weekly quests. Number 4 for me is the hero upgrade. And basically I'm usually working on 1 or 2 heroes every week that I want to upgrade. And particularly with something in my alt account, I'm just not tracking it very closely. And so I'll go in and I check, hey, can I upgrade this? Do I have enough, stars to get to the next star level? Or do I have enough gold heads to get to the next level? And do I want to spend universals on that? It's just a point where I can go ahead and check to see if I want to upgrade it, if I have enough. So it just is a weekly reminder to check the heroes that I'm working on right now. So that's number 4, upgrade the heroes that I'm working on. Now, this might already be obvious, but if it isn't, this entire checklist is designed for all of my accounts together. And so not everything on this checklist applies to everything equally. And so number 5 might seem a little silly. Check my rally banner, my watchtower upgrade. Now, obviously on Vulsa, I finished those off a long time ago, but like my alt testing accounts, they still need, the rally banner to increase a few levels, in fact. So, you get treaties, you get watch arrows from the store, you get them from events sometimes. And this is just my check, hey, do I have enough to upgrade this or not? And so that's what I do every week. I just make one quick check and nope, I don't have enough right now. So check the rally banner, check the tower, that's number 5. So number 6 is something that applies to my main account, very much so, and that's check the merit store. Now the good news here is they've increased their weekly retention cap to 300,000. So right now I don't have any I don't have a spend it or lose it kind of situation. Part of this check is to make sure I've bought everything, and this part of this check is like, hey, is there something really valuable here that I want to get? And that I might have to, if I'm fighting in the KVK, I have to go get some merits, or, if I'm in a situation where I have to merit trade, well, that's what you got to do. Now, I am in my KVK, but still, like the first couple of days of the KVK, there's no fighting yet. Even the statues haven't opened yet. So if I wanted to get these, Barb Manticore skills, I would have to do some merit trading. But like honestly, I just don't care about them, so I'm not going to bother to do that. But if I had one of those, fatal bites or angry wars down here for 600,000, you can bet I'd be out there doing some merit trading. So this is the point where I check that. Number 6, check the merit store. Number 7 is the Tournament of Champions. Not everyone loves this, but I kind of find it fun. It doesn't take much time, and you get some good rewards at the end of the season. So this is the point of the day where I always make sure I've done my Tournament of Champions. Pretty quick and easy, just, fired off 3 times, so we'll do that. And now that we're done, number 7, Tournament of Champions. So number 8's an important one. It's the Goblin exchange. Now look, the gold keys here and the gold stars, I find that even an account like mine does not have enough resources to buy these fully out every week. I'll buy them out here and then, but if they pass 1 week, that's not a big deal. But these Forge-like keys, these Forge-like keys, you gotta grab them every week. Particularly if you're a free-to-play or low spender, this is the best way to get them. Every once in a while, some event will come along where free-to-play players can grab them, but this is basically your main source of these. So grab these every week. And in fact, one of the first things I do every week is to grab these keys, but on Sunday I do my check just to make sure. And so that's number 8, check the Goblin exchange. Number 9 is the VIP shop, right? Check everything in here. Now, every week, the first thing I'll do is buy the teleports just because I need those so badly. But we do have a Grace Heights event coming up, so I'm going to buy all the speed ups in the VIP shop for the last couple weeks just to give myself the best chance to do well in Great Heights. I don't typically buy the gold heads or like the gold stars from these. If you do, that's fine. I don't find good value in those. But so I'll buy, the pet regeneration potions, the teleports, everything I can buy for, resources, not gems. And then, speed ups, particularly as we're approaching a big event that I'm pushing. So that's number 9, the VIP shop. Then we come to number 10, migration permits. Look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not planning to go anywhere anytime soon, but there's a simple rule. It's better to have migration permits and not need them than need them and not have them. Now these things, you don't necessarily have to buy them every week. They will accumulate up to 5, but like never let them accumulate up to 5, right? Always buy them down so you don't waste them here. Ever since they did the reduction in alliance points cost, I've never had any issue buying these. You'll never know when you're going to need them. That's number 10, buy the migration permits. And the last thing I do is I just send out the gatherers, obviously mostly mana. If my alliance needs another resource, gold, wood, or whatever, I will put something in the Alliance Resource Center. And that's my weekly checklist I do every Sunday for each of my accounts. Not all of these steps apply to all of my accounts. And it might take, a farm account takes 2 or 3 minutes to do this. Even my main account maybe takes 15 or 20 minutes total. Not so bad. Can do it, it's very nice, relaxed Sunday morning. Sipping my coffee and just making sure my accounts are doing everything they need to. Anyway, here's the complete list. I hope this is some use to you, and that's all I have today. Until next time, you stay classy, Belron.